Hey, what's up, guys? We're back, and today we got one guest I'm actually excited for. His name is Caleb. He's 16 years old, and I want to ask him a couple questions. We want to dig into his background on why he hunts, what got him into hunting. And the cool thing about him also, he's an entrepreneur. He designs gear for saddle hunters or anything that you want designed to help you during hunting. He can help you design it. But, Pat, ask him a few questions. What do you got in mind?
All right, well, one I was really thinking about is, all right, because I see your Instagram, it's been pretty impressive. Um, what is your biggest motivation to make the products that you do, specifically for saddle hunters and hunters in general? So that's the first question I wanted to get you with.
Yeah, so the biggest motivation, I guess, would probably be just making it all smooth, making it a smooth process, making it simple. Because this past season, when I got into saddle hunting and into mobile hunting, it was more stressful than just hunting out of a traditional tree stand, maybe, and not the best spot. But making products to make it a seamless process, making it simple, that keeps me going. Every time I find something that I don't like, I try to make the product to fix it.
That's how I am as a saddle hunter. Like,
Yeah.
gear is so important. Every little detail when you're setting up, climbing up a tree, from hanging your bow, it's so important to be fluid. Now,
Hmm.
me personally, an issue I always have, which I got a product from you. It's called the bee hanger, and that thing
Yep.
is phenomenal. Now, what was your thought process behind designing that?
Yeah, so um I've seen similar products online like that, and that was actually the first product that I'd made. And I had a 3D printer and I had all the capabilities to make it. And originally I wasn't gonna sell it until a friend told me that I should probably start selling them, and then here we are. Yeah, so basically, I don't know, it was annoying and I didn't feel safe holding onto the tree trying to screw something in. I don't know, yeah, that was my very first product. It's kind of how I got started in the whole
Well,
thing. But
what I love about it actually is that you don't have to screw it into a tree because I hunt mostly public.
Mhm.
So it's illegal here in New York to screw anything in a tree. So that bad
Yeah.
boy works perfect for me.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, no,
Yep,
it's sweet.
same here.
So how'd you come
Yeah.
up with the name for your company?
Um, Originally it was CRC Hunting, which doesn't sound like a hunting company at all. Well, it had to be something that sounded mobile because that's kind of the whole premise of the company. And then it had to be something that's pretty much it. And then I was just thinking, and Roamr popped into my head, so that's obviously always mobile, something like that. Yeah, and and then I built the brand off of it after that.
That's awesome because
I
obviously,
personally,
you could see like mobile hunting and saddle hunting is definitely the future, like right now with, bow hunting. I mean, obviously it's now, but it's definitely something that's going to keep progressing into the future. So do you see yourself adapting to, in the future when guys are going to need, different products because everybody's trying the latest and greatest or trying all different ideas that top everybody else. So do you see yourself, like dabbling things like outside of all that?
Like in getting and exploring new products and stuff. Is that kind of
Yeah.
what you're? Yeah, I mean, I'm always trying to improve. Just today, this is gonna be limb legs for Matthew's bow for turkey
Mm.
hunting site. I mean, I was obviously turkey hunting right now, and I didn't have where a place to put my bow in the blind. And so anytime I see something that can be made, I'm gonna make it, and that's a huge part of this company, adapting to new products that are gonna be made.
Hmm.
And just and when new products are made, there's gonna be new challenges that come with them, and that's my job to try and solve them. So.
Exactly. Exactly.
what about tailoring products towards like self filmers?
Oh, yeah, so that's actually a good question. So this is something I've been working on. This is a camera arm. So it's just 6061 aluminum, and I'm gonna try and sell it obviously cheaper than everybody else on the market because that's another thing that I want to build my brand on is just affordability. Because I'm in high school, I don't have a ton of money to spend on hunting, but I still want to go mobile and get those cool shots. So hopefully I can retail this around $80 to $100 um
Well,
for that
one thing I love just
mobile.
by what you showed me is that it's actually a triple arm. Like me, I
Yeah,
Hmm.
love triple arms.
Say,
it should be
Like,
I want it to kind of have the rigidity of a fourth arrow, something like a fourth arrow camera arm, something like that.
hmm.
But then I also need it to be super light, which it is. I mean, it's 3/4 inch aluminum, so it should be awesome.
oh yeah,
God.
aluminum's one of the lightest metals on the market. You can't go bad with
Yeah,
Hmm.
that.
I might have
Now,
to
as
check
far
out
as
one of
hunting
those.
goes,
You start showing
Yeah.
camera arms. You start showing camera arms. You get me excited, get me intrigued because obviously we all self film. That are all. I don't know if you do, Caleb, but me and Davey do, and we love it, man. I mean, I'm still learning. This is probably going to be only my second or third year, so I'm always getting different products and changing up my whole strategy of like how my camera sits and where it's at, and I'm always just trying new things. I love to tinker, so seeing you hold that up, I'm like eyeing that up. Like I might have to check one of those out.
Yeah,
well, one thing
I'm
that I'm
sorry,
sorry,
I'm
Caleb, you
planning
go,
on,
buddy.
it's okay. I'm planning on getting into like self-filming this year because that opens up a whole bunch of new products that I can start designing and making. So
Mm-hmm.
Like me, what I struggle with is camera mounts on the bows. Like, I don't like the ones that go onto your stabilizer. I absolutely hate that. Like, I've been searching for one that actually, well, because every time you take the shot, you get that vibration, and it
Mm-hmm.
just,
yep.
to me, looks absolutely horrible. I've been looking for one that actually, I'm a right-handed shooter, so I'm looking for one that mounts onto the left side of my bow where it faces back at me, like something like that. So then it's seeing me. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. Like
So
where I
like,
could connect my GoPro.
so you want to record yourself during the shot or record the shot?
Yeah, I wanted to record me,
Okay.
so
Yep.
you get that first-person perspective.
Yeah. No, that'd definitely be a good idea. I'll
It would be
think about
cool.
that.
We're going, yeah, we're going on topics of what we all want, but let's get back into Caleb. So, what was your first deer?
Yeah, I was an eighth grader with a rifle. It was just a nice clean 10 point
Mm.
canvas deer. Yeah. And that got the whole thing started. I mean, I wasn't really into hunting, but a lot of people can go out and shoot one during rifle season. And it was private ground,
Yeah.
so like it was good ground. I mean, I was gonna kill one if I sat out long enough. And yeah, ever since then I've been pretty much obsessed with it. I wanted to kill
So, do you have more of a passion to building products for people or hunting, or is it kind of to you does it like interlock with each other?
Probably just I don't know. They kind of go hand in hand because the more I hunt, obviously, the more I get into mobile hunting, self filming, the more products I'm gonna want to make that like a seamless process and an efficient process that like everybody can do. That's kind of what I wanted
That's
to do.
cool. When did you first start making products for mobile hunters?
Actually, this November, so like peak rut here in Kansas, so like November 7th is when I think I launched. Uh, November like 7th to 9th or something. I could be wrong, but that's when I launched originally because I really started it's crazy. I mean it pretty much blew up when I started, but I started this October of 23, actually making the products with my 3D printer, um, figuring out what material I need to use and that kind of thing. And it kind of worked out good because I've been in 3D printing, making mini models for like making mini bottles for companies of their product. And it just kind of worked out perfectly that I wanted to make this. The bee hang was my original product. I had a 3D printer. I was getting into mobile hunting. Like it just kind of all worked out perfectly to start. So
Awesome.
Now, what's your personal favorite product you've made? Is it the bee hang?
yeah, I'm gonna have to say the bee hang because it's the product I've got to test the most, and use the most. And I mean, I killed my deer using it. And then probably a close second would be I call it the QH1. It's a quiver hanger. And so
Yep, I've seen that.
I'll take off my arrow whip quivers and just hang it on the tree, and it's awesome. I mean, people are putting it in backpacks, and then like when you're trying to pull an arrow out, it can move. But if you put it in, yeah,
Well,
I like that too.
I actually got the bee hanger right here, and
Uh-oh.
one thing that I absolutely love that I think sets you apart is the sea hook.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to run it through a buckle or nothing. I just put it on and I cinch it tight, and it's phenomenal. It saves me so much time. I pull out of my pack, hook it, and boom, and I'm done. I don't have to run it through whatever you want to call it, the
the
tethered
cam
sticks and
buckle
all the sticks,
where you
the
gotta
cam
go
buckle.
through the whole thing. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
tried that out first, and it was a pain. I mean,
It's
Yeah.
so timely, especially in the dark. In the dark,
oh
it's a
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
pain.
That's
yeah,
what's the biggest challenge. But Davey was raving on about that bee hanger, and I was like, I got to check out one of those. So I was eyeing them up on your page, and I'll have to get myself one and see how it works
yeah,
out and everything. If it works out well and I like it and everything, we have to do a little review video for you or something on my
yeah.
my
No, that'd be
YouTube
good.
channel. Be pretty cool. 'Cause I
Trust
always
me,
love checking out new
you'll like
products
it.
and reviewing them and all that. So
Now, I wanted to ask you, as far as I read this before, I seen it on the internet, and it said the average hunter nowadays, it might even blow your mind. The average hunter is like 57 years old. So when I heard about you, 60, you're 16, I believe you said you were,
17 now. I just
and
turned 17.
so
wow,
you're 17, you
young.
die hard hunt, and you create products for the hunting industry. To me, I
Phew.
said that blew my mind. I said you don't see nothing like that anymore. Nowadays, kids are into their phones. They're not into hunting. They're not into any
Video
outdoor
games.
stuff. Video games. I mean, I'm sure he probably plays. A lot of people still play them, but to me, that's like you don't come across that. So I was like, I have to talk to this kid, and that's how I got hooked on you just by that. I said that's how I was when I was younger. So once I learned hunting, it was like hunting, hunting, hunting. It's all I ever wanted to do. But I
Exactly.
didn't have the brains to create products like you do.
That's next level, man. That's awesome. But yeah, like I said, I was scoping out your page and your Instagram. It's pretty impressive to see what you're doing, and I respect your grind. And you got a bright future, man. You stick to it, and obviously you can see in the mobile hunter world right now, it's guys are hungry for products, man. So like
Oh,
you
yeah.
chose a good industry because I don't know if you've ever been to one of the mobile hunter shows, but those guys are. Dudes are just piling in there with money, just practically giving it
Yeah.
away to guys that develop products like yourself. So, I mean, that's a win-win for you, brother.
Oh, yeah, no, it's awesome. I was honestly shocked because seeing the sales start to come in last November after a month after kind of putting the product on the market, it was just crazy at how many people were willing to do that to like just a new brand.
Now,
That's awesome.
do you got I tend to ask a lot of people, do you have like a favorite hunter, like someone that you look up to?
Oh, yeah, probably the Seek One guys, or I mean, there's just a
Oh,
lot of
them guys.
Seek One. I watch a lot of Just Hunt Club, and it's awesome
They're
because
actually from New York.
yeah. So you know those guys.
Yeah, the funny thing is, they just posted on their Instagram the other day. They're looking for people to join up with them. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm a New Yorker. Sign me up, buddy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is
Yeah, no, I've
awesome.
got to. That kind of helped me get into hunting for sure. All those guys online because you see, just so many like all those deer being killed on there and how easy it is. Not how easy it is, but how easy it is to just get in the woods and start. Like
Mhm.
it seemed to overwhelm me at first, but
It's become not only like super popular, obviously, but it is insanely competitive industry because there's so many companies that are going neck and neck trying to sell the next latest and greatest product because let's
Oh,
be
yeah.
honest, most bow hunters, at least that I've ran across at the Great American Outdoor Show, Mobile Show, or even at Lancaster Archery, these dudes are picky, man. Some of them are extremely picky about their setups, especially mobile setups, because mobile setups are so versatile. You can tweak them in so many ways,
So
yeah.
what kind of setup do you use?
I use a latitude method too. I don't know. I saw the 2-panel part where you can detach it, and
Mhm.
I had to try it out. And that's really the only. I tried out some trophy line saddles, but that's the one I ended up going with. So,
Now, you are a
That's
platform kind of guy?
right now I don't know many people that do this, but I'm pretty small, so I can get away with it. I have the XOP X2 climbing sticks, and they come out from the tree probably about 6 inches. They have a
So
big
you
old
just hunt
stand
off the top of the stick.
I just shot off the top of yeah.
wow.
That's smart.
Wow. You
My
guys
feet
are
are too
lucky
big
enough
for
to
that.
do that. I got a 14 boot, man. I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now.
I
That's a nice setup. That's funny you said that because that exact saddle that you just mentioned, I'm actually thinking about testing this summer. I'm thinking about getting back into because I got away from saddles for a little while. Got a bad taste in my mouth when it was my fault. I got busted by 2 deer. That was just it was a mess. But
Yeah.
I wanted to get back in the saddle game, obviously. So that was one of the saddles that I'm eyeing up to test this summer. There's a couple guys that are local here that have them, and they're gonna let me test them. So that's pretty cool to hear you mention that.
Yeah.
honestly, since using a saddle, I'm going on year 7, I think, or 8. I've never got busted by a deer in a saddle. Like, I'll have deer come up to me, and they'll just stare at me, but they won't blow or anything. They just don't know what the hell you are. I think it's the way you're leaned out against the tree. I think they're
Yeah.
just confused.
Hey, I think
But
right
I
now,
actually,
I think, right, I don't mean to cut you off, David, but Caleb, I think right now would be a good time too, if you want to tell the viewers where they can check out your products and stuff. That way, you know where to go to look and all that.
Yeah, for sure. Just go over to Roamr Hunting on Instagram, ROAMR, and you'll find it there. And then there'll be a link for you to click on to go to the website where you can purchase it.
now as far as hunting goes, and you designing products, is there something that you see yourself like in the next 10 years as far as advancing into, like better printers, better things like that?
Yeah, 100%. So, within the next few years, like maybe 2 or 3, I want to get into casting aluminum, which is your tree stands, your saddle platforms, your climbing sticks, everything. Not, that's how they're made. I don't want to make those products. I want to make like one idea I had was on a saddle platform, you have your basically the cam buckle that you attach to it. I wanted to make steps that you can go around there. That like so you'd have your platform and then all the way around the tree there'd be steps, like 3 steps.
Oh, so it's
Just so you
basically
can,
like a ring of steps connected to your
yeah,
strap.
yes, exactly.
That's actually pretty smart because then you can
Yeah.
get 360 around a tree.
Yep.
Honestly, that's why I personally went to a hybrid system because I ran the Predator platform for like 3 years
Yep.
and I couldn't shoot behind me for crap. I lost a lot of deer because I couldn't shoot behind me.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going to a hybrid system, and now it's an old school 7-pound lone wolf.
Yep.
And now I could stand up 360 and I could shoot any way I want. So I got rid of the platform. I mean, I added a few more pounds, but to me, it was well worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So that ring of step ideal would save me more weight, and actually it'd probably help me shoot 360 better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's good. But one of the things I like to ask, some younger guys like yourself, I hate saying this because I feel old asking this. Where do you see yourself in, like, let's say 5 years from now, 10 years? Well, we'll just think of 5. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Yeah, so 5 years, 22. I don't know. Hopefully, the goal would be running this company full time. If it scales that much, that'd be pretty crazy if it could get there. But I think one of my greatest strength with building this company, if I can't do it full time, is the CAD, the design work on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that at a lot of companies. As kind of a backup plan if this whole thing, if I can't do it full time, and maybe if 5 years is too soon to do it full time, but yeah, that'd be the goal.
Yeah, that's smart.
Honestly, where I work is, if you know CAD, you make bank. CNC
Oh, yeah.
operators,
Oh, yeah.
they make tons of money. So that alone, if you learn that, your future's set right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Especially if you get into a
that's
nice
awesome.
machine shop.
You already got a leg up
Now,
right there.
Now, when you're hunting, we were talking earlier about styles of hunting. How would you describe yourself as a hunter? Like, what style of hunting do you do?
So I have a lot of big ground. I grew up on a farm, so a lot of the ground that I hunt's pretty premium. Like you saw the deer I killed this year, that was a top 5 hitless buck, but there's giants. So private land, but I want to be mobile still because there's a lot of acres to cover of trees,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different setups that I can have, and I don't want to go buy 10 ladder stands, and I also don't want to have a ladder stand in every single spot. So I'm private, but I still want to go get to all those spots with mobile setup.
Now, would you consider yourself aggressive?
So this year I played very aggressive. It was the kind of start of October 28th, and I was hunting a ridge system, and so they're either going to come south over the ridge or north over the ridge, and if they came north, I would have been busted with my thermals. They would have been going up the hill. But they came south, so my thermals were rising in the morning, so I was okay, so it'd be a little below me. They came over, and that would have kind of got me busted, but I played the thermals right, kind of played the right cards during the rut. Those was the play. They worked it just how I wanted them to, and they could buff right behind them, so.
So you know what I love? Just hearing you talk. You're 17 years old. You're talking about thermals.
Yeah,
That's insane to
I
me,
was
like-
thinking the same thing. You're already ahead of most people. You're ahead of guys that are older than me and Davey, even or our age. There's some guys that don't
When I-
even give 2 craps about that. So that's awesome. You've done your homework. That's good.
when I was 17, I was still trying to figure out how to walk in the woods.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just-
no, I've had a
I'm
lot of great
39. I'm
mentors help
still
me.
trying to figure out how to hunt these deer.
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, like I said, that's why I was so intrigued. Is like I try to get my daughter in hunting, and everybody says, "No, I don't put girls into hunting," but I'm trying to get her into it. What's something that you would suggest me to try to like help her get involved into it more? Like coming from your age, because me as a dad, I'm like, just do it. You got to do it. I
Yeah.
love doing
Hmm.
it, so let's do it. But I don't want to force it at the same time.
Yeah, I have a little brother that I'm trying to get into hunting, and I think I don't know because it's hard because you can't force him, obviously. But I YouTube for sure, letting them watch people that they think they're gonna be cool, do the same thing that you want them to be, get into.
Hmm. That's solid advice. You can never go wrong with YouTube, man. There's so many people that watch that. It's crazy. But yeah, my oldest son, like he was my first son, obviously. And when he was younger, I pushed him a little hard. I was still learning as a dad, and he kind of backed off of it. But now, like these last 4 or 5 months, he's starting to get really interested. I even picked up a guy that had a bow at the archery club, just like a little hand-me-down one, just to
Yeah.
get someone to start. Because I'm not going to buy something brand new to get him into it because, he may not like it. So I grabbed that for him, and like a day after that, he wanted to go right to the range. So
Hmm.
he's thinking he's wanting to hunt, but he's not sure if he wants to stick with compound or crossbow. Now, I want him to shoot compound, but, as long as he's out in the woods, I'm a happy man. So.
Yeah.
But it's like this too. If that's something he doesn't want to do, he wants to pursue something else he loves, that's fine as well. So
Start him young, get him into a recurve.
yeah.
Have him shoot. If he can master that, he's gonna be a good hunter.
Ah, you ain't lying. Yeah, yeah. Have you always been shooting a bow like your whole life, or is it something you just started shooting, like a year ago or 10 years ago, however long?
Yeah, so I got my first bow in COVID, so 4 years ago. That's crazy. That was 4 years ago. Um,
Yeah.
it was a mission route, a Matthews mission. Um, and I shot that until I killed my first deer with that. My freshman year of high school, I killed my first deer with that. And then sophomore
Nice.
year, I got the C3X, the Matthews C3X. I actually bought it from the owner of the shop. It was his old bow, and he went to the Phase 4. I picked up that thing, and I love it. It's awesome.
That's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I personally love shooting bow. It's like it's therapy. It's
Mhm.
relaxing, calming. Now, if you, for your age, again, being the younger one, that's why I was so intrigued by it. As far as shooting the bow goes, say you came across somebody your age and you were trying to teach them the right and proper way to shoot a bow, what would you say your most important thing to teach them would be?
Yeah, so I never got good until I started like trusting the release and quit punching it. Um, and now I'm shooting a true ball hinge. That's what I killed my deer with. And at first, like I don't know why people say you can't punch a hinge because you can punch a hinge. I mean, you just
You
snap it
sure
back.
can.
And I was doing that, and once I trust it, and I just trust the process, I got into my process and just trusted it. And that's the great thing. I have so many good mentors in my hunting life. Like my dad doesn't hunt, but there's guys at the bow shop that help me all the time, that help me with new product ideas. There's people on Instagram that help me with product ideas. Like everything. There's so much support from it's awesome.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
you just said something that kind of caught my attention. You said your dad doesn't hunt.
Yeah.
So then, how, like, normally you have that mentor, like my dad taught me how to hunt. And what got you, like, just say, hey, I want to hunt? Was it YouTube?
No, so
Or
my
did you
grandpa
have like
got
a
me started.
person?
My grandpa hunts a little bit, and so I'd go with him. But then, like, I never really got hooked because he didn't bow hunt. He just kind of like put it out there, right? And then when I'd go to the bow shop, there's great guys there. There's a guy that lives about 2 hours away that he comes down and stays here for like October. He taught me about thermals, how to use RNF the right way. He taught me about everything.
It's
And
awesome.
yes, so there's just been so many people to help me. So
Yeah. That's why I always say we should all be trying to help one another, pass down the knowledge, man. It's a sport we want to keep growing. And, me and Davey have talked on other podcasts about, people bashing, and there's some negativity in it. And I hate to see archery, get that rep because, we all want to just be successful and get better. So I always say, go out there, like you'll hear me in my YouTube videos. I say, go out there and teach a kid how to shoot a bow, like something like that. It's just teaching people that are going to be coming after like Davey and I, because Davey and I, we're not getting younger. So I want to see, yourself and kids younger than you continue to grow this sport, excuse me, and be successful and hunt. It's a beautiful thing. We should all be trying to help each other get better at whatever it is we're doing. So that's pretty cool to hear you say that, man. That's awesome. You don't hear many people your age, thanking people that, for teaching you and stuff. That's really cool. I admire that.
Yeah, that's why when it came to a bow, I was practically all self-taught. Like my dad never bow hunted. My
Same.
cousins and them did, but they were all diehard gun hunters. And then the time came, I grabbed my first bow and I couldn't put the thing down. I love bow more
Yes.
than anything now.
Yeah, that's kind of the
Yeah.
thing is I can't say that I'm self-taught in any way because there's been so many people like at the bow shop shooting my bow, like helping me with my shot process, just trusting the release to scoop off, and then on the hunting side of it, people teaching about thermals, about how to hunt a ridge system the right way, when to hunt, and I can't say I'm self-taught at all with all the help that I've had.
So then again, when you're going into a spot, let's go back to the type of hunter you are.
Mhm.
Like me, I'm mobile as can be. I hunt all types of public land, and it's my favorite thing to hunt. I just love the challenge behind it. Now, I don't want to give my answer. I want to ask your answers first. Say you're waking up, getting ready to go hunt that morning. Before you even pick a spot, like what's the first thing that goes through your mind? Like your process of where I'm going to go.
Yeah, so I have a spot for about like 3 good wins, and also that so when I wake up, probably the night probably I should start. So the night before, I'm probably gonna check the wind for the next day, and then I'll wake up, confirm that wind, or it's gonna make an adjustment. So usually I'll have a spot picked out kind of the night before, and the spot that I killed my deer at this year is pretty good unless I have a north wind, which is not like this. I mean, it's pretty common, but not very common. So. Um, First thing, look at the wind, and then I'd wake up. Sorry, did you just want me to tell you that, or like just keep going?
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
hearing
so
everything you say, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
so I'd pick my spot, and then as soon as I like know for sure where I'm going, I'd drive over to where I'd park, put my clothes on, like my hunting clothes on, I just keep them in a ozone thing, um, and then I'd walk out to my slot and get set up.
See,
That's
that
great.
alone, that information, now if a kid your age hears this podcast and you talk like that, they learn something.
Mhm.
So you just gave them advice. So that's what I said.
Exactly.
Any little bit goes a long way.
Yeah.
But
Now,
you did say something. They said, sorry,
go ahead,
Pat.
Davey. Go ahead. I cut you off. My bad. But
You were going to say something about ozonics in the tub. Me and Pat been talking about this thing before. We had a
Yeah.
conversation about it. And I don't want to hurt your feelings by saying it, but I'm not a firm believer in that thing. Like I see, do you use the
So
one that
I
just for your
I s-
clothes
I
in a
don't
tub, or do
I
you use the
don't
one?
use a I don't use an ozone machine. It's an ozone bag. So I mean,
All
once
right, okay.
so I think once you get your clothes in the woods, like you're not getting them. Like that's how you should keep it. So once
Yep.
I have my clothes, I'll put them in it's like a sealed bag. But there's not like an ozone machine in it. It's not gonna like I don't think
Yeah.
like if they're coming from the woods, that's the most decent and you're gonna get them.
Exactly.
Is what I've been taught. But I don't
Yep.
actually use an ozone
Yeah.
machine. It's just a bag.
Yeah.
Like when
That's
people
what I
use
do.
them,
Keep
I
them
don't
in a
want to.
sealed tote.
Yeah.
When they use them ozone generators, I mean they are pricey, but I understand the science behind it, but I'm just not a firm believer because I believe how it works. I was telling Pat, I believe what it is it blows carbon over you and it just pushes the carbon's heavier than air, so it blows or pushes your air down and it kills all your smell. But I don't believe that to be foolproof.
Are you talking like
I think they're gonna
the
smell
ozone
you.
machine that goes over your head?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one that you screw into the tree and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
got
yeah.
the
No, I
ozonic
haven't
right
ever
above you.
taken with those, but I think probably my biggest discovery in hunting this year, or like realization, is like the perfect one for you is it's like that's the one the deer doesn't want. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just once I realized, I was like, okay, well, we're playing a different game. I got to start hunting crosswinds, and I got to start playing thermals.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's the perfect one for me, the deer's not gonna walk with a wind in their ass, so they gotta have a headwind. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
try
you got to
I
play
try to
that
teach
wind.
everybody that.
Yep.
Like
Can't
it's
beat their
not if it
nose,
just because it's
man.
perfect for you, don't mean it. Just
Yeah,
because it's
that's
perfect for you doesn't mean it's perfect for them.
That's right. That's right. Scent control is like that's just another rabbit hole. It's crazy. But like, yeah, you were saying you
yeah,
gotta play that wind, know your thermals and everything. Like you could throw whatever scent control, all over yourself or up in the tree. If that wind and stuff's not right, it doesn't matter. That especially a mature buck, he's gonna pick you off before you know
oh
it.
yeah,
And the
yep,
second he smells you, he's gonna slip out there, and he could be 20 yards away. You may not see him, and he's gone. Like he's gonna
yeah. They'll
slip right
circle
out. You may
down
not
into you
even.
before they even blow. You're not gonna
And
notice her.
that's what I had happen in upstate New York. He slipped right between my father-in-law and I, and got right downwind of me, and I knew right there. Came over, like that's it.
Yep,
Like
yep,
it's a wrap from there. And once they do that, it's like those mature bucks are just they're a rare breed, man.
yeah.
But like I said again, we've been reiterating it. Where the hell do you hear? Sorry for saying that word, but where do you hear a 17-year-old talking like this? You don't.
Hmm.
You never hear it. Like
Yeah,
that just blows my mind. I respect the kid just on that alone.
yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Like to know that kind of knowledge.
Oh, it's awesome. But Caleb, I had a question I was just thinking of asking you. What do you, in your opinion, you think is the biggest challenge as a mobile hunter / shooting out of a tree saddle?
Yeah, so the first like challenge that I had was getting everything in, and then once you have it in, how the heck are you gonna climb a tree with 4 climbing sticks? And at first I had a tree stand on back, and then you gotta pull your bow up, and then you gotta hang your bow, and you gotta do all that and stay quiet.
Hmm.
So it's just a whole feat to accomplish, I think. But still, for me, the hardest part is getting really quiet. Because like you're walking in the tree, and if my climbing sticks are hanging off my saddle on the back of it, like they can't clink when I'm climbing up and pulling it off,
Hmm.
and clipping carabiners for my saddle bridge. Like there's just so much that can be loud, I
Hmm.
guess.
See, a lot of people don't think of that. They don't. A lot of your average hunters, they don't care. They just go in the woods,
No.
plop up in a spot, even if they are mobile. They want to get up as quick as they can and set
Hmm.
everything up as fast as they can just to get up in a tree. And they don't care about being stealthy. Like me, I say it all the time. I'll go into the woods a half hour early, 45 minutes earlier than I normally do, just so I could be taking my time setting up.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Do the
that's one
same
thing that
thing.
I started tinkering with this year. Um, was especially hunting on this ridge that I was trying to kill the deer on. Was if I got in super early, before the sun got up and thermals were still dropping, I wanted my tree stand above the deer. And if I got in before my thermals were still dropping and a deer walked by, I'd be done. I'd be busted. So when I killed my deer this year, I was about halfway up the tree when the sun came up, and I don't I think if I went in early, I would have got busted because I was halfway up the tree and two does walked down the trail. And they didn't think I was quiet. I mean, they didn't even know I was there, and I was halfway setting up my tree. I mean, that just goes to show you, if you stay quiet, then I can know you're there.
You're good.
And they crossed my
Hmm.
path. I was scared as ever when they walked across where I walked across. I didn't get busted. I mean, I needed my boots out the night before. Whatever it was, they didn't get busted. And then the thermals obviously were rising at that point as the sun hit the side of the ridge, and I finished setting up, and then the buck walked by after him later. Like it was literally that quick. So,
I bet your heart was pumping.
oh my gosh,
Hmm.
yeah, it was nuts. And yeah, when I shot it, I went down, looked at the air, there was blood on it. It was just like my knock was not like it was just broke off. So I was confused there. And I texted my buddies. I really texted my mentors for it first actually because they're the ones that are helping me. Like, yeah, it was just a whole crazy experience.
So how far was the shot?
I was 28 yards, and he ended up piling up at 150 yards later on X. I marked it out, so
Oh
double
no, you were
bonus.
you were you were supposed to tell Davey it was like 47 yards. It was windy. There was heavy rain. There was a dog
Quarter
barking. There
two,
was someone.
punched the shoulder.
I actually just did a video the other day about broadheads. Are you a mechanical guy or are you a fixed
I
broadhead
use
guy?
a Grim Reaper mechanical, and my
That's a
pro
great
shop guy.
broadhead.
Yeah, I love it. He set me up on it originally for speed because I used to be really little when I started. I killed my first deer. I was 85 pounds as a freshman, which is tiny. Now I'm 145, so I'm growing like crazy right now. But when you're 85 pounds, I mean, I'm pulling 35, 40 pounds. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
shooting 75 grain broadheads, 500 spine arrows. I mean, we're trying to get these things flying. I mean, they got to be,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I love the mechanicals. I hate when how some of them get a bad rep, but it's like I've told Davey in the past, like we both agreed on accuracy trumps all, man. You gotta
mhm.
it's shot placement. I don't care what kind of
Yep,
setup you have, heavy, light, you gotta make a good shot. Like that's
yeah, that's a
why
great point.
I try to practice as much as I can from different elevation angles, all that stuff, because when you're in the tree stand, I mean that's what's gonna count the most, like that deer is not going to do everything you think it's going to do. Like they're going to do whatever they're going to do. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be a picture perfect broadside shot every time. 20 yards broadside, I'm sure we can all agree we would love for it to go that way every single time. But sometimes you're shooting through little windows. It's windy, and the weather can change, especially here in Pennsylvania like that. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's when you become a traditional shooter because you got to be within 20 yards. I hear.
Yeah,
So
you ain't lying.
that's when you
You
got
ain't
to get
lying.
real good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caleb, what's the closest you ever had a deer that you shot?
So the very first deer that I shot was literally 2 yards under my tree stand. I mean, I literally shot straight down
Wow.
on him. Like,
Woo.
it was crazy. Yeah, it was just a little 6 point. Um, and he came up because I had a ladder tree stand at that point as I was a freshman, and I had the ladder tree stand put up literally right above this mock scrape that I created. Um, and that's pretty much all I did about hunting. I made a mock scrape and I had a ladder stand, and I killed a deer from it. I mean, he just came in, um, completely the opposite way. Like it was a ridge, and instead of working around the ridge, he just walked straight up it, which I was shocked. I mean, they always seem to work in a U pattern around the ridge, but he
Mm-hmm.
just came straight up it and walked right under my tree stand and put one through. I think I only single lunged him because it was coming down so sharp, like it was coming down
Wow.
so fast.
Wow. Wow. See, like you were just
Did you
saying,
get a pass through?
he did something different. See, that's what I mean. You never know. It's
Yeah, you
crazy.
never know. Yeah, it went straight through, which is
True.
crazy.
Oh, it did because
That goes to show my arrow setup with. I was pulling 40 pounds with a 75 grain broadhead. I mean, it's a past tier deer. I mean, it wasn't a mature deer. It was probably a 2.5 year old.
Mm-hmm.
well, you're still getting pretty speed out of it. Then if it blew right through it,
Yeah, I think I
pretty
Mm-hmm.
good
was getting.
speed.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but I was pretty fast at that point. So
Nice.
So
Nice.
we're gonna
What?
ask you one more question before. Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna
No,
ask
you're
one more
good,
question
brother.
before we wrap this up. I love asking everybody this. What is your favorite thing about hunting?
try the adrenaline that you get when you. Yeah, I don't know. Like when I shot that deer this year, my heart was just going crazy, and that's what it's all about, man. I mean, you obviously don't kill one every time. It's a grind. This year was actually fairly fast in October 28th. But like right before that happened, I was pretty fast. So I didn't have to work for it as much in the past this year, but I was also a lot smarter about what I did this year. It just made it all together. My plan working perfectly, the hang and hunt working perfectly, the product that I designed for it working perfectly, and then I executed and made a perfect double lung shot. And like just all that coming together to one moment, the adrenaline from it was nuts.
See, just by hearing you say that, people could learn a lot. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
you had limited time and you were still able to capitalize. Like you
Yeah.
did things different than
Exactly.
before. So every time you went in the woods, you tried to make it count. That alone, like I said, a lot of people don't take that advantage. They just go in
Mm-hmm.
there, they'll go 10 feet off the road and just sit, or they won't
Yep.
do what the next guy's doing.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I think that's why there is a lot of great hunters out there because of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
We've had this talk. But I always say, what can we do as hunters to evolve past what we're already learning? So let's say I asked this in a different podcast episode. Let's say everybody's doing the same exact thing as us. We're all hunting the same way. What's something that you can do to put yourself out of that box? So if there's a deer we're all after the same exact buck. We all know what's over on that ridge. We all know what kind of wind it's getting. We all know what kind of travel. What could you do differently that would set you outside of that box to help you kill that deer?
I love this question. So, one thing that I switched up the hit that I killed my deer because I went in there a few times, right? Um, So there's this creek that I can either not cross, which is the way easier way to get in, or I can cross it way downstream, get in way smoother. The time I killed him, I crossed the creek, and so I think switching up entry, going the hard way, it's gonna suck, but like I think that helped me kill the deer because I think now thinking about it, if I walked around the creek, I think he could almost see me from where I think he was bedding, coming off that ridge in the morning. He could probably see me or heard me, but just
Mhm.
switching that up, I think, yeah.
That was
I
a
mean,
smart
if you
That's
guys
a
decision
have
great
right
seen it,
there.
example.
That was a
yeah.
smart decision. I would have done it. That's why I was agreeing with you. I would have done the same thing. That was smart. That's thinking ahead. You know, so many people they just sometimes the easy route. You know, it's not always gonna pay off. Yeah, sometimes you get lucky and it does. But yeah, that was a smart decision.
I would say the entrance is one of the most important things. The way you access to where you're getting to is one of the most important things you could do.
Yeah, it's
Well, guys,
they're
we're gonna wrap
incredible.
this one up. We're actually gonna do a giveaway for Caleb's fee hanger. I'm telling you right now, this thing is phenomenal. I love it. So everybody could get 3 chances to win. Now you could go on Caleb's Instagram, and Caleb's gonna put a post. You just comment on that post. Pat's gonna share this video on his YouTube channel. You can comment on that post. I'm gonna share this on my YouTube channel. You can comment on the post. Now all you can comment on all 3 of them if you want, and give you 3 chances to win. So in the next video we post, we're all going to pick a winner, and we're all going to take care of you. We'll ask for your information. We'll get one sent out to you guys. But Caleb, I really appreciate joining, talking. I learned a lot just from you being your age. Pat, it's always a good time with you, buddy. But we're going to wrap
Yeah,
this one up.
same.
Thanks for watching, guys.